ओम उपदेशसाहस्री आदिशंकराचार्य कृत पद्य विभाग मतिविलापन प्रकरणम अष्टम चैप्टर 8 मर्जिंग ऑफ द माइंड चितिस्वरूपे स्वतएव मे मते रसादियोगस्तव मोहकारितः अतो न किंचित् तव चेष्टितेन मे फलं भवेत् सर्वविशेषः नतः. The connection of enjoyment etc. with me, O my mind, who am by nature consciousness itself, is due to the delusion created by you. As I am free from all attributes, there is no utility accruing to me from your efforts. विमुच्य मायामय कार्यतामिह प्रशांति माया इह सदीहितात् सदा अहम परब्रह्म सदा विमुक्तवत् तथाजमेकं द्वयवर्जितं यतः. Give up false attempts and come to rest in me from constant vain efforts, as I am always the Supreme Brahman, as if free from bondage, unborn and devoid of quality. For Brahman is never bound, so it cannot be called at any time liberated. सदा च भूतेषु समोऽस्मि केवलो यथा च खं सर्वगमक्षरं शिवं निरन्तरं निष्कलमक्रियं परं ततो न मेस्तीह फलं तवैहितैः. The Supreme Brahman, the same because of the self of all, in all being, the same in all beings, and free from all attributes. I am all pervading like ether, imperishable, auspicious, homogeneous, partless, and actionless. I, therefore, have no benefit to be derived from your efforts. Aham ममैको न तदन्यदिश्यते तथा न कस्याप्यहमस्म्य संगतः असंगरूपोऽहमतो न मे त्वया कृतेन कार्यं तव चाद्वयत्वतः. No one different from me can belong to me, who am one only, nor can I, who am unattached, belong to anybody. I have therefore no benefit to be derived from anything done by you. As you are not conscious and have no separate existence from Brahman. As you are not other than myself, who can have no effort nor its results. फले च हेतौ च जनो विषक्तवानिति प्रचिन्त्याहमतो विमोक्षणे जनस्य संवादमिमं प्रक्लुप्तवान् स्वरूपतः तत्वार्थविबोधकारणम्. Considering that people are attached to the ideas of cause and effect, I have composed this dialogue between the mind and the self, leading to the understanding of the real nature of the self in order that they might get freed from this bondage. संवादमेतं यदि चिन्तयेन्नरो विमुच्यते ज्ञानमहाभयागमात् विमुक्तकामश्च तथा जनः सदा चरत्यशोकसमात्मवित् सुखी. A man who gets liberated and roams over the world, free from desires, free from grief, the knowledge of the self, the same because the self of all, in all beings, and happy if he ponders over this dialogue. सूक्ष्मता व्यापिता प्रकरणम. सूक्ष्मता व्यापिते ज्ञेये गन्धादेरुत्तरोत्तरं प्रत्यगात्मावसानेषु पूर्वपूर्वप्रहाणतः. A succeeding one in the series of earth etc., ending with the innermost self, is found to be subtler and non-pervasive when a preceding one is negated. When we negate a preceding one, we get a subtler and more pervasive one, till at last the innermost self is reached, which is of the nature of existence and conscious and is the material cause of everything and therefore absolutely all pervading and the subtlest. Earth, fire, water, air, and ether, known to have no separate existence from the succeeding one, its cause, external. शारीरा पृथिवी तावद् यावद् बाह्या प्रमाणतः अम्बादीनि च तत्त्वानि तावत् ज्ञेयानि कृष्णशः. External earth is the same as that pertaining to bodies, water, etc. The other categories who are without exception known to be the same as those pertaining to the bodies. Sarvashchinmatra sarvagodvayah. Always pure consciousness, I am one without a second, all and all pervading like the ether before the creation of air and other elements. ब्रह्माद्या स्थावरान्ताये प्राणिनो मोकोऽस्मृताः कामक्रोधादयो दोषा जायेरन्मे कुतोऽन्यतः. It has been ascertained that all the beings from Brahma, the soul invested with the aggregate of subtle bodies, down Brahma, down to the immovable creation, are my bodies. From what other source will blemishes like lust, anger, etc. come to me? They do not by nature belong to me as they come and go, nor can they come to me else except me. भूतदोषैस्तदा स्पृष्टं सर्वभूतस्थमीश्वरं नीलं व्योम यथा बालो दुष्टं मां वीक्षते जनः. People look upon me as the Lord. That is the cause, and the cause is never touched by any of the properties of its effects. Lord residing in all beings and always untouched by their defects, and with those defects, like a boy who erroneously looks upon the sky as blue. मच्चैतन्यावभास्यत्वात् सर्वप्राणिधियां सदा पूर्वमम प्राणिनः सर्वे सर्वज्ञस्य विपाप्मनः. As the intellect of all beings are illumined by my consciousness, that is, by me who I am pure consciousness. All beings are bodies belonging to me, who am all-knowing and free from all sins and virtues. जनिमज्ञानविज्ञेयं स्वप्नज्ञानमधिष्यते नित्यं निर्विषयं ज्ञानं तस्माद्वैतं न विद्यते. Objects that come into being and are capable of being made the objects of knowledge are as unreal as those known in dream. As duality has no real existence, knowledge is eternal and objectless. ज्ञातो ज्ञातिर्हि नित्योक्ता सुषुप्ते त्वन्यशून्यतः जाग्रज्ञातिस्त्वविज्ञातस्तद्ग्राह्यं च सदीक्षताम्. As there is nothing other than the self in dreamless sleep, it is said by the Shruti that the consciousness of the knower is eternal. Consciousness is the real nature of the knower, like heat, which is the nature of the sun. As knowledge is really objectless, the knowledge of objects in the waking state must be due to ignorance. Accept then that its objects are also unreal. For the changeless self cannot be the seat of knowledge, nor can the non-conscious intellect. Therefore, knowledge in the waking state with its objects cannot be but falsely superimposed on the self, which alone is real. रूपवत्वाद्य सत्त्वान्न दृष्ट्यादेकर्मता यथा एवं विज्ञानकर्मत्वं भूम्नो नास्ति इति गम्यते. भूम्नो नास्ति इति गम्यते. It is very clearly understood that Brahman cannot be the object. It is said of knowledge, just as it cannot be the object of seeing the form. And 7.24.1, where one sees nothing else, knows nothing else, it is Brahman, from which it might be inferred that one does not see or know anything else. It is true, but one sees and knows the self. The above verse is to remove this doubt. The Chandogya text is the above verse is to remove this doubt. The Chandogya text prohibits in Brahman the duality appearing to be real during ignorance. It is said in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad 2.4.5, the self should be seen, heard, reflected upon and meditated on. So there may be a doubt that the self is the object of seeing, etc. The present verse is to remove this doubt. That really intended to make people turn away from the non-self. It is not to teach them that the self is object of seeing, etc. दृश्य स्वरूप परमार्थ दर्शन प्रकरणम 10, chapter 10, right conception of the nature of consciousness. दृशिस्वरूपं गगनोपमं परं सकृद्विभातं तुजमेकमक्षरम् अलेपकं सर्वगतं यदद्वयं तदेव चाहं सततं विमुक्तो. Drishistu, I am the Supreme Brahman, which is pure consciousness, always clearly manifest, unborn, one only, imperishable, unattached and all-pervading, like the ether and non-dual. I am therefore ever free. Om. The Sanskrit word Om used in the text indicates that one realizes Brahman by meditating on it. दृश्यस्तु शुद्धो अहमविक्रियात्मको न मेऽस्ति कश्चित् विषयस्वभावतः पुरस्थिरश्चोर्ध्वमधश्च सर्वतः सम्पूर्णभूमा त्यजात्मनि स्थितः. Pure and changeless consciousness, I am by nature devoid of objects to illumine, unborn and established in the self. I am all-pervading Brahman in the front, oblique, upward, downward and all other directions. अजोमरश्चैव तथा जरोमृतः स्वयं प्रभः सर्वगतोऽहमद्वयः न कारणं कार्यमतीव निर्मलः सदैव कतृप्तश्च ततो विमुक्त. ओम. I am unborn, deathless, devoid of old age, immortal, self-effulgent, all-pervading and non-dual, perfectly pure, having neither cause nor effect, and contented with the one bliss. I am free. Yes. The bliss of the self. The word is the text. In the text indicates assent. The disciple accepts Brahman as the self. Sushupta Jagrat Sabadasya Darshanam Namesti Kinchit त्वमिवेह मोहनं स्वतश्च तेषां परतोऽप्यसत्त्वस् सत्त्वतस्तुरीय एवास्मि सदा दृगद्वयः. No perception, whatever is in waking, dream or deep sleep, belongs to me, but it is due to delusion. For these states have no independent existence, nor an existence depending on the self. For they cannot have an existence dependent on the self, which is contrary to them in nature. That is, the self in consciousness is consciousness while they are not so. I am therefore the fourth. Fourth, because the self is beyond the three states of waking, dream, and deep sleep, which are superimposed on it. Fourth, which is the seer of all the three states and without a second. शरीर बुद्धीन्द्रिय दुख संततिर्न मे न चाहं मम निर्विकारतः असत्वहेतोश्च यथैव संततेरसत्वमस्यास्वपतो हि दृश्यवत्. As I am changeless, the series producing pain, namely the body, the intellect, and the senses, are not myself nor mine. Moreover, they are unreal, like dream objects, there being a reason for inference that they are so. The argument is that the series is not real, as they are objects of knowledge like dream objects, which are known to be unreal. Idam tu satyam mama nasti vikriya vikara. But it is true that I am Sukshmataha, beginningless and devoid of attributes. I have neither actions nor their results. Therefore, I am the Supreme One without a second. Though in a body, I do not get attached on account of my subtleness, that is, having no form, like the ether which, though all-pervading, does not get tainted. सदा च भूतेषु समोहमेश्वरश्चराक्षराभ्यां परमो यथोत्तमः परात्मतत्त्वश्च तथा द्वयोऽपि सन्विपर्येणाभिमतस्त्वविद्यया. Though I am the Lord, that is the cause, and therefore untouched by the defects of beings in whom I reside, always the same in all beings, beyond the perishable and the imperishable, the unmanifested power of Brahman which transforms itself into the manifested universe, and therefore the Supreme, the Self of all, and without a second I am considered to be of a contrary nature on account of ignorance. अविद्यया भावनया च कर्मभिर्विविक्तात्मा व्यवधिस्सु निर्मलः दृगादिशक्तिप्रचितोऽहमद्वयस्थितस्वरूपे गगनं यथाचलं. Not distanced, movable, ithohyamohata. There is the saying of the Shruti that one who has the sure conviction about oneself that one is Brahman is never born again, there being no religion, for one has known the self. There is no birth, for when the cause is not there, there cannot be any effect. ममेदमित्थं च तथेदमीदृशं तथाहमेवं न परो न वान्यथा विमूढत एवं न जनस्य कल्पना सदा समे ब्रह्मणि चाद्वये शिवे. False conceptions of people such as mine, this thus, this is so, I am so, another is not so, etc. are all due to delusion. They are never in Brahman, which is auspicious, the same in all and without a second. यदद्वयं ज्ञानमतीव निर्मलं महात्मनां तत्र न शोकमोहता तयोरभावेन हि कर्म च जन्म वा भवेदयं वेदविदां विनिश्चयः. All grief and delusion are removed from those great souls when there arises the very pure, that is free from all doubts, knowledge of the non-dual self. It is the conclusion of those who know the meaning of the Vedas that there cannot be any action or birth in the absence of grief. Ignorance applied by them and delusion. सुषुप्तवत् जागृति यो न पश्यति द्वयं तु पश्यन्नपि चाद्वैततः तथा च कुर्वन्नपि निष्क्रियश्च यस्य आत्मन् विन्नान्य इतिह निश्चयः. Atmavinnanya itiha nishchayah. It is the conclusion here in the Vedantas that one who, though perceiving apparently the world of duality in the waking state, does not perceive it to be real, as a man in deep sleep does not. Duality gets merged in ignorance in case of deep sleep, but in the case of self-knowledge, it gets negated in all the states. Perceive it owing to duality being negated, and who is really actionless even when apparently acting is a man of self-knowledge. But no one else is so. इतीदमुक्तं परमार्थदर्शनं मया हि वेदान्तविनिश्चितं परं विमुच्यतेऽस्मिन् यदि निश्चितो भवेन्न लिप्यते व्योम इवेह कर्मभिः. This right knowledge described by me is the highest because it is ascertained in the Vedantas. One becomes liberated and unattached to it, unattached to actions like the ether if one is perfectly convinced of this truth.